High standard. Robert, I need you to do what you do.
All right, here we go, guys. Are you ready? All right, let's show them that energy that Las Vegas has.
Shall we make this official?
Yes.
Las Vegas and the surrounding counties, a raucous welcome for Mr. Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki. How about it, boys?
Thanks, what was his name? Richard, what's the name? Spate. Thank you, Richard Spate. This is strange, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Rick.
It sounds like Rudolph is in the building. When Rudolph's nose goes off.
I don't know about that.
Rob Benedict, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, every time we come out here, it's like Close Encounters. Hi guys. We've done this before, I promise. So we will figure it out soon enough. Okay. Hi, Las Vegas. We've seen some of you guys and gals today.
I was gonna say, every time we come out here and we do that jump ending to that song, I always wonder, is today the day one of us blows a hip?
You mean you've ever jumped without blowing a hip? Because for the last about 17 years, every time I jump, something breaks. We are very, very thrilled and grateful to be here. I think a lot of you guys.
How many of you have never been to a supernatural convention before? Okay, I'd like to remind you that we've been on for 14 years.
Where were you? Where were you?
And we've been doing these for about 13 and a half of them. Welcome. What's that? She's like, I wasn't born yet. Well, whatever the reason, we're glad you're here with us today. Las Vegas is one of our biggest shows of the year, and it's always a thrill. It's a bit of a marathon, I think, for some of these guys, but they're still here, they're happy, shiny faces, and we're happy to see all of your happy, shiny faces. So thank you for being here with us today.
It's also the first convention we've had. So we finished filming on Tuesday, season 14. So we are 5 days into our final hiatus.
5 days into our hiatus period.
How are we looking? Good?
I ain't shaving. I have to put those clippers to my face every morning. I've been doing it for a couple of months now. It's gonna be great.
Showering? You gonna shower at all?
Shower?
Yeah.
Overrated.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, I think we've had a lot of news since we saw y'all last. And
Jared, I have a question for you. It's a personal question.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's on like the force is strong with me today.
Okay, I'm gonna bust you. Have you guys heard of these things? So they've taken, like the what is it? The non-smoking patch thing.
Nicotine patch. Correct.
Nicorette?
Correct.
Is that it?
Yeah.
So they've taken that technology now and they've applied it to.
They're also like cigarette patches and Advil patches,
Narcotics, right? So it's this like slow, it's this slow
Slow
absorption technology. They've now brought it mainstream with hangover patches. So where it's like this slow.
This is an unpaid advertisement.
I'm not. Yes, it's called the party patch. All right, get the thing away from it. Smells, man. And this is, I'm like,
I can't get my
and I'm
pants
like,
down.
do you have a party patch on? And he's like, yeah, 4. Well, they smell like
That happened in Vegas.
really,
That was supposed to
really intense B vitamins. If you know what that smells like, which it's. It's a gamey scent.
It stinks.
It stinks. But it works. And that's the important thing. Anyway, well,
Hi guys.
when in Las Vegas, keep in mind that's just a preparatory thing.
It stays in Vegas.
Doesn't necessarily need it unless he needs it.
Yeah.
And then it's there. Smart.
Well said. Okay, let's go ahead.
No, let's keep talking. I want to talk about how your experience in Vegas has been so far.
It's great. How's your experience been? They're standing up like, when are they going to call us? Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm better because of the party patch.
I just wanted to say that you guys helped me a lot through middle school.
All right.
Your kids helped me a lot through middle school, and Supernatural has helped me a lot through middle school, so I just wanted to thank you for that. But my question is, do you believe in ghosts and the supernatural? And if you do, what have your experiences been with it?
He would love to.
Sure. I wouldn't say that I'm like thinking that there's ghosts in every corner. I don't. I don't not believe it. I will say that I'm first to think that there is a rational explanation for why the window is open, why the floorboards are creaking, why things are happening. I like to think that there is a logical explanation to 99% of it. But I'm certainly open to the availability that 1% could be something unexplained. I have not ever seen a ghost. I have not ever had something really supernatural happen to me in real life. I've certainly Let me explain the difference between supernatural and unnatural. Unnatural. Supernatural. Natural.
Awfully natural.
So yeah, that's kind of where I lie with it all. I also like to say that if a ghost does decide to make itself present to me, even in the real world, that I'd like to remind them that I have at least 14 years under my belt of not being a ghost hunter, but playing one on TV.
Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
You guys have worked with some amazing guest starring actors over the 14
One who was
years.
just standing here on this stage.
One of them, yes.
We're here to talk about us, not the guest stars.
Well,
So,
I'm so sorry, then my question is way out of line. I was gonna ask, whose post-supernatural career have you been most proud of? I look at Gordon or Sterling K. Brown, and he's done phenomenal work since leaving Supernatural. Is there anybody else who...
Yeah, for sure. I actually kind of keep in contact with and pay close attention to the girl who played Ruby in season 4. She seems pretty busy, so I gotta look at my phone to remember. But yeah, we've had some very cool people on the show, so we've been very lucky.
Yeah, like you said, Sterling has done an amazing job, and I don't think that was any shock to he and I. We knew that when he was on our when we were very fortunate enough to get to work with him, that he was quite a star.
Season 2?
Yeah, 3. That's what I was going to say. We knew that he the talent was. The force was strong with him. And it's certainly no surprise that he has had the success that he has. Others, I mean, we're still very close with Jeffrey D. Morgan, who hasn't done a whole lot since Supernatural, but we're just proud of him anyway. But then, aside from a professional aspect, there's a lot of people that just personally, I mean, talk about, some of the families that these people have raised, and I mean, Mitch's daughter's here today with her friend, and talking to Spade about his boys, and I mean, these guys. There's a ton of. I was renting to Felicia yesterday, and asking about her child, and just there's a lot to be proud of within this Supernatural family that I know he and I we talk about often. It's not just the billboards or the acting accolades. There's a lot of accolades that go far beyond this industry. That runs deep within this crew of people.
Yeah, and friends we made, and funny enough, I went back and watched the episode Wendigo, which is a funny episode because now Han Solo that was his first ever job. Alden, who's awesome. Corey Monteith, rest in peace. But also there were in Wendigo, there were 2 guys that played brothers, and I think they've worked since then. They were like named Sam and Dean Winchester or something. They look totally different now, and they're doing totally different things. But yeah, it's been very fortunate. What about you? What was your?
I mean, other than Jeffrey Dean Morgan's really low-hanging fruit because him on
Wow.
The Walking Dead, he
children's-
is a total badass as Negan, and I think we all love him in that, though not much different than his role as your father.
Yeah, no, he knows the sweet spot for sure.
Yeah, but no, I can't watch an episode of This Is Us without Sterling making me cry.
I don't think anybody. That's why I don't watch it because I have no feelings. Thank you. No, that's one of these days I'll maybe sit down with a box of Kleenex in a quiet room by myself where nobody can see, and allow myself to watch that show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
I'm Sherry. This is my first convention. I've only seen 2 of your episodes.
Okay, next question.
1 and 300. That's what my friend showed me. 1 and 300.
1 and 300.
No.
Those were the episodes.
So
And you were like, is this the same show?
You guys looked a little different.
When did
but-
they recast?
So I have to say, I'm just amazed at what a following you have and how everybody just loves the show, and it's awesome. So thank you for
we are
that.
too. Thank you.
So, and my question is, after the final season, will you change your appearance? For example, will you never shave again? Up here. I'm not shy, I'm a nurse.
So you've had to. Never mind.
Yes,
Jared? You've got the most hair. Up there.
How would you know? It's good, guys.
It's okay. It's all right. Okay. All right. You know what? Let's not draw too much attention. She's having an episode.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Is there somebody who's a medical professional who can?
Does she need to get to somebody?
Help?
Okay. Can you go help with that?
Is there somebody who's medical professional?
Hey guys, we're gonna diffuse this real quick and just step off. Okay? So just bear with us. Okay. The shortest intermission on the history.
And sending love to our fellow member of the SBN family who's dealing with something. So we've all had ups and downs, so let's remember that and just send her some love. Okay.
All right. Where were we?
You were about to take the clothes off.
We were talking about Jared's Viking braids on either side of his ears.
Vikings braid? Did Vikings braid? Don't look at me like it is like common knowledge.
Yes.
All right. Which side are we?
Well, no,
The Viking side?
Are you going to change your look when the show's over?
Yes. I'm going to.
You see Borja over here?
He took the wig off. Finally.
Dude, you know how much?
After all these years.
Do you know how much charitable money you could get? Lots of love. Where did you send your charity? What was your charity for? St. Baldrin's? St. Baldrin's. Children's cancer. You know how much money you could raise getting rid of that mop?
Fine.
And don't worry, I'll let Misha do it.
I will say, I'm not going to say it. I will say. Thanks, Eric.
God, you smell like a party patch. Yeah, look, I think that he and I both will probably change a little bit. I think just in an effort to kind of maybe gain a little bit of our own,
ourselves.
Yeah, well, no, seriously, like kind of gain a little bit of our own identity back. I mean, we've spent so much time with these characters that they really are kind of a part of us. Not to say that we want to get rid of them by any means, because I know that this is the best. Imagined a friend that I've ever had in my life. Dean will be a part of me for the rest of my life. That said, I don't have to look like him for the rest of my life. So,
Thank God.
I don't know.
Okay.
It really depends on what our wives want us to look like.
That's a good answer.
I've always like for the last, not the entire show, but for the last, maybe like season 8, so the last 6 years, I've always thought of going bow-legged. Seeing what life is like at 6 foot. But what is it like?
It's airy.
Yes, are you gonna stop shaving as well?
Of course.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Solidarity.
Yes, all the way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello. So Supernatural has such a strong family bond between all of us that are here, and I wanted to thank you for that and all the friends that I've made while watching the show. How do you feel that the family will continue as the years go by?
My hope is that it's as strong as it is now. I think that this is, there are bonds that have been made throughout this show and throughout the experience of watching the show and being a part of this audience that I know will last a lifetime. So I know we will all go on and do other things and meet other people and stuff, but I strongly believe that the relationships built over the past 15 years, at least with the cast and the crew and the people that we've worked intimately with for so long, will last a lifetime. And I also hope that, and I think I could safely say that there's a lot of relationships that have been made because of this show that are going to last a lifetime. And that is one thing that really fuels us up.
Yeah.
I know that there was some questions out there about like, oh, now that the show has a finish line in sight, does that mean that these conventions are going to end too? And but we're already signed on to do convention shows past the end of the show. So I certainly hope they don't, and I don't believe they will for quite a while, if ever.
I feel like
Okay, she's back. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Just everybody stay calm. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Well, let's just keep talking. Let's just keep talking.
Yeah.
We got people handling the situation. It's all good.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. Thank you for your question, and I hope that if we continue doing with this, you'll continue supporting us and being with us as well.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hello. How are you doing?
If you flip your shirt, does it say something different?
It does.
What?
Okay.
Whoa,
It says hell bound right now. And heaven sent.
When I found it, I thought it was perfect for this show.
That's awesome.
Pretty awesome.
Okay, I have a two-part question. First, to Jared, what are you most looking forward to after the show ends? And think happy thoughts.
That's a deep question. I think he sort of touched on it earlier about sort of getting to know our kids and wives and ourselves. And I'm certainly excited about that. I'm excited about not shaving, which seems very vapid. And but there's a really cool, curious sort of like Kmart. Suzanne Puncher. Just kidding. What am I looking forward to? You know what? There's a funny we travel a lot. We film 20 episodes, so 160 days. So each episode films in 8 days, and we travel to different cities a lot for conventions or for press or whatever. So when I wake up every day, there's a moment of like, where am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Am I in Vancouver? Am I filming? Am I in Austin? Am I gonna make eggs for the kids and let the dog out? Am I in Chicago, Vancouver, Nashville, Rome? Am I flying today? So I'm kind of excited for the boring, quote unquote, humdrum
Rest.
life of like being I'm excited to be a dad.
Yeah, I've never known my kids without the show being a part of my life. My wife and I have never been in a relationship when this show hasn't been a part of it. It's all we've known. It's been a constant for so long that it really is going to be kind of just interesting to see where life goes, and I think that I'm certainly looking forward to having the opportunity to spend more time with my children and have the opportunity to spend more time with my wife and with my friends and with my family and with those that I would love to see more that I don't get the chance to. The opportunity to not get on an airplane every 3 to 4 days, and the opportunity to remove one of the Chris's and put my name in there.
Newsflash, you're not Australian.
No, again, the opportunity, not saying I can. But
Can I ask just one more question?
Yes.
Real quick. Jensen, are you going to be the new Batman?
I don't know, I've never had the opportunity until now. So I'd say that's probably what I'm looking forward to, is the opportunity to do a lot of things that that I haven't been able to. But again, I want to say that I have been very, very happy letting certainly the professional parts of those opportunities go by these past 14 years because of how much I love this show and this character and still telling a story. So.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for portraying characters we have grown to love and admire over the years. My question was just, has anyone impacted your life the way Supernatural has impacted ours?
Thank you for watching, so we can portray these characters. That's a really difficult, I feel like this is strangely almost a continuation of your question, which is, I don't know, you know? He was talking about his wife and their relationship.
You mean like personally or professionally?
More like professionally, probably.
Somebody that's influenced us professionally?
Hard to say, because honestly, for us, like we've been on the clock, you know? For 15 years, 14. Even on our off seasons, we can't take our wig off like Borja did. We can't, you know, we're still working, you know? It's like, hey, you're wrapped for the season, but you're coming back in 2 months to start the next season, so don't go blah, 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 blah. So it feels like we've been working, you know? We've been, it's almost like professional athletes or something. Like you can't wrap a basketball season and then go eat buffets every day. You're still kind of working, you know? So it'll be interesting. I feel like it's difficult for me to look at it objectively. You know?
Well, has there been anybody that's influenced you from a professional standpoint who's, you know, was there ever an actor or a teacher or a friend or somebody that gave you kind of insight that helps you shape what you've done with Sam Winchester?
Yes, everybody.
I tried. I'm sorry.
Thank you, that answered my question.
I mean it. No, but I do. We're kidding, but in seriousness, I do feel like hopefully Sam Winchester has been some culmination of everything I've ever been through, you know, and everything the writers and producers and directors have ever been through, and hopefully it kind of manifests itself on screen. It's a strange way to look at it. Thank you.
I will say, I'll touch on just as far as, because what's influenced me as far as Dean goes is pretty obvious, and I think that's what Jeff did with John. I remember thinking like, oh, okay, well, he's kind of laid a little bit of a blueprint here for where Dean can go, you know, both emotionally and also physically, and also, you know, John was kind of Dean's hero, and so he wouldn't want to idolize his father and imitate his father. And I remember trying to do that, you know, try to lower the voice and be that grovelly stuff. I didn't know we were going to go 14 years, 15 years. And so now I'm much older than Jeff was when he did the pilot of the show.
Yeah, no kidding.
So now I think Misha and I are going to have to like seek some sort of vocal, physical therapy when the show's over, just so we can get back to speaking like normal human beings. But no, it's Jeff really kind of laid a good blueprint for me playing Dean a long time ago, and I've just tried to kind of use that as a compass for quite a while, and it's served me well. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
I'm Pam from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Sorry?
Pam from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Hi.
And I have a question, a long waited question that I asked Mark Shepard a few years ago, and he gave me Mark answers, so I didn't get it answered.
Well, love, funny you ask that.
I thought he'd be an expert because he played a demon, but since you guys are the show stars, I thought you might know this one. I was wondering just how a demon deposits sulfur.
Demon deposits sulfur?
Sulfur, yeah. As a biology teacher, it's been haunting me. I want to know how they deposit...
How demons deposit sulfur?
Sulfur, right.
Like in the bank?
No. At Out of sync. That's
I think it looks a lot like this. You know, in the cooler way would just be a... You know, and if they ever take off, it's this. And
I think it's very, honestly, I think it's very similar to like when you go to ATM machines and there's that deposit slip. Right next to it is the sulfur deposit. I hate everybody.
You know, I don't know that there is an exact explanation for that. I kind of always assumed it was the way that, you know, humans shed skin cells or hair or something like that. There's just a... Oh, like you don't know. Too close. Bubble. Stinky leg. Do the stinky leg. Yeah. I don't know that I have a perfect explanation for that. I just, I kind of always assumed that there was, it happened.
Do you know how?
It's not very biological because we emit fluids or gases.
Okay, next question, please.
No, this is good. Right, but
So powders didn't make sense to me.
a powder didn't make sense to you.
A sulfur deposit.
Right.
Of sulfur.
Well, you know, what about a demon smoking out and shooting up into the sky and then wisping? Does that make sense?
Sure. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I think that's one of those just, it was suspend and believe.
One of those mysteries.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Great. I'm gonna go to sleep tonight being like, yeah, it's powder. How does that happen? Is it like a dry powder? Does it roll on clear?
How are you?
Hi guys.
Hi.
I want to know what's on your bucket list and what's the strangest thing that's on your bucket list.
Can you do that in American, please? Oh, come on, I'm teasing. Seriously, what? My bucket list.
I think she said pocket.
What's on your bucket list? Just kidding, that's a beautiful accent. I'm just jealous. I'm like, hey guys, like where are y'all going? So, I get very envious when I hear somebody who can speak better than I can, which is basically everybody.
So you want to say bucket list? That's, no. What's the oddest thing on your bucket list? Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you have a bucket list?
No, I never made, I certainly have wants, goals.
You have things you're like, I'd like to do that one day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, Louise. My question is...
No. What are you arguing against? I'm so sorry.
So, just
my bucket list is not be an asshole and fake people out. That'll never happen. One of the things on my bucket list, I would love to go on a helicopter ride. I've never done it. It's the small things.
a helicopter ride?
What I meant to say is I want to have a pet cool wall up there.
Stop. Just stop.
What's your? You can't like helicopter ride. You're stupid. What's yours?
I'm gonna see my children grow up. But no, have fun with your helicopter ride. That's gonna be grand.
By the way, I can see my children growing up from the helicopter.
They call that helicopter parenting. Yeah. Thanks for that, gold mine.
Thank you, love. What was that? What was that accent?
I don't know. A confused person.
Yes. Confused person. No, that's a bad accent. No, you had a good accent. I had a bad accent. That's one of Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
No, Yorkshire. Yorkshire, not me. Real bad. Yes, hi.
Hi. I just want to know if you guys will have any input on how it ultimately ends, or if that will be a total surprise to you guys.
I looked at you.
What is this, like not it? No, we don't. I don't think that he and I are on board to just like throw it to the wind and be like, yeah, whatever they give us, sweet. I think he and I certainly will. And I know that we've had this conversation with Andrew and with Bob and the guys that are going to make these creative decisions and have expressed our desire to be a part of that process, which I think is the first year we've ever done that. We've always, and it's not as though we don't trust what they're going to deliver, because I'm sure it's going to be amazing, but I just think he and I want to at least be there and you know, if we have any things that we can add, you know, a little spice here, a little spice there, I think that we, you know, this is the year we do that. And so, yeah, we're going to attempt to take a bit more of an active role in the direction and the story this season more than we ever have. I don't know how much they're going to listen to us. They may just be like, yeah, that's a great idea. Which I'm prepared for that. But yeah, I think he and I, we're just, you know, nobody's lived with these characters longer than he and I, and no one's told this story longer than he and I, and I think it would be doing a disservice to the show to not have he and I at least give a stamp of approval, not a stamp, but give the input that I think the show deserves and that these characters deserve, and I think that the writers are like, yes, please, and they have. They're like, listen, please come to the office, sit in, like, let's bounce ideas.
Yeah, they've offered for us to come up. So we finish on Tuesday, and they've invited us up to LA to be a part of the storyboarding, sort of like the exploding dot of a season. So I feel like something wonderful about Supernatural so far has been Jared and Jensen have almost gone through what Sam and Nina went through. As in, we don't know what's next. Like it was sort of like a trial by fire of, listen, you can't plan your life, you can't plan your work, you can't plan your schedule. This is what's going to happen. You're going to work 10 days in a row, you know, 16 hours, and then you'll have a week off. But we're not going to tell you. And not that anybody did it out of malevolence or malice. It was more, that's just the way our lives kind of happened. And I feel like there was something nice about finally settling into, okay, this is our life, we're going to be busy. We're going to not know the next episode, or the next season. But now I feel like more as a fan of the show, as a fan of the show, I want to have some input as to the basic, I don't want to be that guy, the writer, like the actor who calls the writers like, well, you said we are. Can I say we're? You know, like, it's a weird, like, I don't want to be that guy. I'm not that guy.
He is that guy.
tease that. I don't know what that face was. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I feel like I'd like to offer my advice, opinion. You know, if they don't take it, fine.
Yeah. So we'll see what it is, and we'll know what it is before going into next season, and I'm excited.
We're all looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Kat, I'm from Hawaii, and you guys didn't come to Hawaii, so I came here this year. You can go to a helicopter right there.
Is that an invitation?
Yes!
Let's go.
All right. Okay, so my question is, how do you guys feel about seeing yourselves on screen?
I look great.
Yeah. Have you always felt that way? And have you learned from seeing yourself on screen?
I hate it. I hate it.
Really?
Dude, I don't watch it. Yeah.
What? Why did you have your trailer converted into one giant mirror on the inside last year?
Design stuff. I saw Max.
Right. It's just a design choice.
Yeah, it was in a Guns and Garden. Well, don't judge. It's my style. It's millennial.
I think he and I are pretty similar in the fact that we'll watch ourselves on screen, and it's far less of a, all right, yeah, and much more of a like, okay, don't do that face ever again, or okay, that line worked, okay, that was good, wow, missed that one. So it's like we're almost taking score, so we're much more critical, I think, of ourselves than hopefully the audience is. Although I don't know, some of the comments in the comment section may disagree with me. I don't do that. I've just been told.
Read comments.
Never read the comments. But it's an objective thing. You know, I watch it to be like, okay, what's working and what's not working, and then try to capitalize on the things that worked the next time I have a scene that's similar. So it's more for research purposes than anything. And it's hard to just sit back and watch ourselves as simply an audience member. I remember
it's hard to be objective. It's hard to look at it and go like, oh, I'll watch this like Game of Thrones or This Is Us or something. You know, you're gonna look at yourself and be like, oh, I remember that scene, shooting it, and oh, that guest star is a friend, we met, whatever. It's really difficult to...
Well, you've often said one of your favorite episodes was the episode where Bobby dies.
Death's Door, yeah.
Death's Door. And it was obviously not because Bobby was dying, but it was
like 5 days off.
It was a really, really, really strong episode, and it was acted brilliantly with Jim, and it was directed brilliantly by Bob, and it was also an episode that he and I were not in very much, because it was all about telling Bobby's story and how he ends up where he is. And he and I remember watching that in our trailer, because we were working when it aired, and we watched it. And he and I were both just like, that was one of the best TV shows we've seen in a long time. And we quickly realized it was like, yeah, because we weren't in it. And then we got nervous. We were like, oh my gosh, what does that mean?
There are a few times.
Are we anchors on this show? Are we slowing it down?
So we've officially finished 307 episodes of the show. And there are probably 5 or 6 times that I've watched the show and been like, that's a good TV show, I'd watch that, you know? I'm not saying like it's bad otherwise, but it's difficult to be objective. You know, you watch it and you're like, oh, missed that, nah, look weird, nah, I farted. While watching the show, not in the show. Like, just now, while answering this question.
Right, which looks like this. I'm sitting next to him, we're watching, and he's like, oh wow, yeah, that looks good. Ooh, wow, sorry about that. What? Wait, rewind it, I missed it, because I was trying to get that one out.
Force is strong right now. No, so I feel like...
There's some people here, this is their first convention, they're like, wow, not what I thought.
Never
this is an odd side of this show. I should have just stayed home and kept watching it.
Yeah, so it's a long-winded way, I suppose, to say
A long-winded way.
that was kind of mine. I'll take that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen Norton. Round of applause for Stephen Norton, please.
It was a reluctant one.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Safe travels back to Hawaii. See you there in the helicopter? Do you fly the helicopter or just ride with?
No, I'm afraid.
She's like, well, look who's getting their helicopter's pilot's license.
Mahalo. Hi.
Jensen, you were amazing last night in the Saturday Night Special.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Not so bad yourself.
If you thought he was amazing last night, nothing.
Oh no, I'm really glad my question is for Jensen.
Thank God.
Long before there was Dean Winchester, there was a little show called Dark Angel. And in that show, there's one episode where you play the piano. You play a beautiful Chopin piece. And I've always wondered if it was really you playing the piano. And do you have any memories from Dark Angel you can share?
Yes, that was part me and part an actual piano player. They kind of cut the two together. I think whenever it did the close-up of the hands, that was not me. But I learned about 8 bars of that song and just played them over and over and over and over again. So I was able to get through enough of it to where they could get a shot that they needed. It was a very difficult song to play. Chopin, I believe. Yeah, coming from somebody who'd never played piano before. And funny stories from that. I don't know, that was a while ago. I don't know, I've certainly have a few. I will say that there's some that stand out in my head. One, when I was in a boxing ring and Jessica gets in to fight my character. So it's Max versus Alec, and she's like, okay, so we're gonna start the shot off, and it's gonna be a straight right punch, right to the face, and boom, and I step back. Well, she lined it up like this. She's like, okay. Then she stepped back, and I'm like, all right, well now she's even further back. Well, what I didn't take into account is that she's going to lean into the punch. So she went, boom, and caught me square in the nose. And
which is why it's so jacked up looking.
And that and many other reasons. But it was one of those where, and I was still young enough to be like, well, I can't stop. You know, I can't yell, cut, that hurt. And now I'm older and it's
all the time.
I was gonna say now I'm older and more experienced, and yet I still don't say, cut, that hurt. But there was that one, and there was another one. There's a lot of me getting hit. There's another one where the Beresford Agenda was the episode, and there was a young actress, and she comes up to me and slaps me. And for some reason, she couldn't get the timing right. Like she couldn't do the fake slap, and so I was kind of getting frustrated. Like, just hit me, I'm like, she's, you know, just a small girl. Like, how bad could it be? Y'all pack a punch. Because my whole face welded, but like it was like a welt of just like a handprint with like fingers. And like the whole crew it was like, whack! And the whole crew was like, ooh! I've learned not to let them do that now. That doesn't mean I don't catch a few elbows or knuckles here and there, which is just part of the, that happens every now and again. But yeah, I'll never just sign up to get hit anymore. That's, no thanks. I can go out to a bar and get in a fight. I don't need to get no defense. You get the point.
Thank you.
Hello. At the end of the Scooby Natural episode, when Dean does the Scooby Doo, I'm wondering about how long that took, how many takes. Seems like there's some laughing going on.
So there was a small crowd of people who had gathered across the street. We had been filming inside this store all day, and there was a small crowd of people that had gathered to watch the film crew. Probably just going like, is it Arrow? Is it Legends of Tomorrow? Oh, it's Supernatural. Oh, okay. I'm just kidding. They knew who we were. And so, they did, because he hires them to show up so that when they walk out, Jared! Yeah, it's like a whole thing. It's been going on for years.
They forgot their lines though first.
Right.
Yeah. So they had to call their agents.
But we walk out onto the street and we've like framed the people out across the street, so they're all still there. I mean, they're within, 20 yards of us. And they can't really hear what we're saying because we're just having regular dialogue, but I knew that as soon as I did that line, people were gonna be like, what? Because they didn't know what we were filming. And I just remember thinking wow, this is really embarrassing. And I was legitimately embarrassed to say that line because there was a bunch of people who didn't understand the context and didn't know that we were doing a crossover show and the whole thing. And I'm like, they're just gonna hear me say this line from this old cartoon and they're gonna be like, wow, this show has really jumped the shark. They're just pulling out every stop they can. And so it was tough.
They've gotten so old they're animating themselves now to not have to be on camera.
Yeah, that was an embarrassing moment, legitimately. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. No!
Would you? Different question. Would you Scooby?
I think they want you
do
to
it
take your
again?
scarf off.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay. I'm Olivia from Michigan, and my question was for Jared. My beanie fell off into the water display outside of the Bellagio. Where would you recommend I get a replacement?
The water display outside the Bellagio has a beanie in it.
Yeah, that one's for free.
That's free. Did you jump in? Did you really?
Yeah, it was my favorite beanie, and the wind blew it off, and it's still there.
But wash that. Word to the wise. Word to the wise. Wash it. Did your watch fall off?
Jared, I have a question for you. My favorite watch.
Jensen, my underwear just fell off.
That's it for know what question. That's it. Last question time.
All right, SBN family, this is Julian. Julian, this is the SBN family. You are the last question. Do not mess this up.
By the way, I gotta point something out, detail-wise. This is our first ever male last question.
He's like, trailblazer. I like it. All right, what's your question, Tom?
So, in the episode The French Mistake, we all know that Sam and Dean wind up in quote-unquote our world, because it can't really be our world, because as far as I know, Misha isn't dead in the gutter somewhere. But my question is, what happened to you two?
What do you mean?
I mean,
Where did we go in the alternate
there was
reality?
a
Like,
lock
where
in
were the
the-
actual actors?
There was a lock in a box.
Right, I got you. They were at a convention. In Vegas, with Julian, as a matter of fact.
Oh my God, this is the alternate universe!
Honestly, I like to think that somehow Balthazar made them disappear for our benefit. But I also like to think that they maybe just at a convention somewhere and didn't show up for work because they're asshole actors. Ha ha!
Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki! Well, that was uneventful. What a snooze fest.
Why do they keep
All right, everybody, get a little bit of a breather, a little bit of an intermission.
Just another Sunday.
And then we get to bring on, oh, I can't wait to hear what these two chaps have to
Get ready.
say.
Get ready for these guys.
You haven't seen them enough for the last 4 days, so they figured, let's give them some stage time. Some much needed stage time, that's right. It's Robin Rich taking the stage after this. We'll be back in a few minutes, everybody. Hydrate.
back.